Kaiju no Kami here at Colorado Anime Fest 2022 with
Krelika Kane.
And we are interviewing
Abby Trott.
I like the hesitancy, like I think that's my name, but I don't know because I didn't exactly pick it. My family gave it to me.
It's true.
For those who might not know who you are you?
I am a voice actor / singer. You might know me from voicing Nezuko in Demon Slayer. I sing the intro song Lifelight to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm in some video games like Fire Emblem Three Houses as Annette, etc., etc.
You're not bored. I got an opportunity to look at your filmography list, and I was like, wow, especially the last 7 years, it has blown up. Like, you're doing so many fun things. You have your voice acting adventures, you have your singing adventures. I'm jealous because in the last 7 years, I can honestly say I haven't been as productive. I just turn on my computer and go to work. So congratulations to you. You've done a lot of fun stuff. I also heard you in Persona 5 Royal, which was so cool.
Thank you.
I can't go back to the original version because I'm like, wait, her voice is just so good.
Aww.
But I wanted to ask you, because here's a fun question. Have you ever just Googled yourself?
I have.
Because I love the random things that come up. And one of the questions was, does Abby Trott know Japanese? And I'm like, why would that be why would that be a question? Maybe. And so I learned a lot about your time in Japan. So you had an opportunity to go to Japan,
Right.
and do voice acting for like a puppet show.
Well, so initially I went to Japan on the JET program, which I don't know if you've heard of it. It's an English teaching exchange program, and I was in Akita, Japan for 2 years in like rural Japan in the middle of nowhere. But it was absolutely gorgeous. And my plan was, when I graduated college, I was a theater major / East Asian Studies major / International Global Studies minor, and I wanted to travel. And so instead of just like diving into acting, going to New York or something, I was like, I want to go somewhere. And so I applied to the JET program and got in. You know, I didn't expect to get in, but then when I did, I was faced with that question of like, do I just move to Japan for a year? And it became so real really quickly. And I was like, I have to do this. And so I ended up going, loving it, stayed for 2 years in Akita. And then I moved to Tokyo to focus on acting and music. Mm-hmm. And that's where I found myself doing these children's shows. And those shows they were like children's musicals. Mm-hmm. Purpose was to teach kids English through interactive songs. And I got to do puppets and the voices for some of these puppets.
That is so cool.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
Loved it.
A friend of ours actually did the JET program like 20 years ago, so it's been forever. And he still lives in Japan to this day, doing a lot of other teaching for English. And I actually think the JET program is a great opportunity to experience another culture, because I know people can go to China, or there's a number of nations that's a part of.
Yeah, in 2005, we actually had applied and had interviews with this company called Nova that did the same thing.
Yes, I know Nova.
And they wanted her, but not me.
Oh,
yeah, he was very, very jealous.
Did you go?
I didn't, only because the initial cost was just so much money.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd go back to school and finish a different degree. I sometimes feel like I go back and forth, like, do I regret it? Do I not? But sometimes it's probably not meant for everyone. It's like that meant to be.
Also, timing is a huge factor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and with Nova too, I don't think you're as well set up as with the JET program, where they basically they will help you get an apartment. They'll get you an apartment. You have your job lined up. They'll help you get transportation. You usually have a liaison with the, I'm blanking on the name of the department, but like there's a whole department at your disposal to help you.
Oh,
you know,
that's
and
really
you have people
nice.
helping you out, and it is one of the best ways, I think, to like just move to another culture, because you have all that assistance helping you.
Well,
out.
I think it's fascinating, and it gives anyone, but probably gave you specifically, a great perspective of how another culture looks at day-to-day activities or just about anything they do.
Yes, Japan is very different, and I find that I'm one of those people, or especially at the time, I was one of those people who was like just trying to fit in. I was just trying to like go with the flow, didn't want to stand out at all. And so Japan was like, it was good and bad for me in that I found the flow of Japan very comfortable to fit into culturally, and like just the way people talk to each other, the general politeness, efficiency, things are on time, and just like the approach to society felt like I was like, yes, this is good. But as a gaijin, as a foreigner, you stand out automatically.
Oh,
so
I
there's
can
no
only
fitting
imagine.
in. Like, you're just going to stand out. But towards the end of my time there, I spent 6 years total in Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I did speak Japanese. I studied in college and then continued to study, took the JLPT level N2, which is not native level, but fluent.
Oh, wow.
And I passed that. And so I was pretty good at Japanese. And I had several people ask me if I was Japanese or part Japanese.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized that I was kind of losing myself in the culture of Japan a bit. Just trying to blend in so hard that I was losing who I really was.
Oh,
in a way.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing with our friend in Japan. Like, whenever you talk to him, he speaks so fast. Even when he's talking English, you're like, what did you just say? Because he has been there so long, and he's married now over there and everything, that he feels like he really is just part of the culture.
But the one thing that you mentioned that I think is so important on like an educational aspect or just a person aspect is you have the opportunity to know another language. And that's a rarity. I say more so for Americans than other countries because dual language is so normalized elsewhere. But that's a great quality to have because you can connect with people on such a different level than just being simply an English speaker.
Yes, I totally agree. And I'm really glad that I had at least conversational Japanese before I moved to Japan, because it gave me, like, I was able to talk to people right off the bat, and like, you learn quickly, when you're talking to people in their native tongue. And so like to anyone who's thinking about learning a language, I would also recommend going to that place, because you can study textbooks, and some people are really good at learning language technically, but when you're forced to use it, your brain remembers. You will remember when you have to, and it's important, and you're like, I need to know the word for bathroom, like you will remember. So I definitely recommend like going wherever you're looking to.
No, I think that's awesome. And I think that's an important thing because the world is so much more global now. We're not just our own little country. And I think anime, as just a form of pop culture, has kind of helped open that up a lot too. Because we're learning to connect with another culture, even if it's just through cartoons and anything like that.
Totally. And it's interesting, like, being part of the localization of anime and Japanese video games, JRPGs and such, because there are cultural elements that I feel like don't translate completely into English the American experience, as it were, because Japan is a very different country with different cultural contexts, and so it's sometimes really hard to localize things, and you do, in an adaptation, have to adapt meaning often because of that.
Oh, I can only imagine, but that's a skill that you cannot pass up at all. It's a skill that takes a lot of work and dedication, so I'm beyond impressed.
So you came back to America. Did you find it hard to reintegrate yourself in American culture, being that you were in Japan for 6 years?
It was a little tricky. So I had a harder time when I was coming back to visit while I lived there, because I was still in it. I was still thinking within the Japanese cultural context. And so it was hard for me to just like suddenly reframe things being back in the States and like, oh yeah, people are this way, and this is what I'm supposed to do. When I moved back, I had pretty much decided to do so. Like I was ready to. It was really hard because I love Japan so much, and it's really hard to leave, which is why your friend is still there. But I was ready to go because I was ready for the next chapter of my life, which was hopefully pursuing voiceover, was what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I would be successful at the time, but I was like, I have to at least try this. And so I had to, like, in my mind, I was mentally prepared for it, and I feel like it was easier then to adapt. But some things were tricky. Like, I remember driving, and in Japan, I was driving on the other side of the road. So one time I turned onto the wrong side of the road. That was not good. And also windshield wipers are on the other side. So
really?
I would like be trying to turn on my turning signal, and I would hit the windshield wipers, and that was a mess.
Why is everyone driving on the wrong side?
Like, oh no. But then also one thing that I had a hard time shaking was bowing. So like even while driving, like if somebody let me go, you just acknowledge, and say thank you by bowing, and people don't do that here, and I still do it sometimes.
I find that kind of actually adorable in a way that you still have those, because I was actually going to ask that question. Do you still have those elements of your time in Japan that you still do, even though you're
just sort of reflex.
Back in America for quite some time?
Yeah, I still sit in seiza a lot, because a lot of people find that uncomfortable. Seiza is like when your legs are like folded under your sitting on your feet. I just find it like comfortable, which a lot of people don't, and their legs go numb. I do that. The bowing is something I still do a lot. I also just have a vocabulary that won't leave, and I never want it to. Like Genki is one of my favorite words. So like if I'm not feeling like Genki, I'll say like, I'm not Genki today, or like I try to teach people the word Genki so that when I say it, they're like not confused, because I know I'm going to say it at some point.
Well, at least that helps with anime fans, because
especially Dragon Ball fans.
Yes, people have like a good sampling of Japanese vocabulary, anime fans.
Yeah, weebs usually don't lose a lot of that. Well, kind of speaking of like weebs in a way, probably not the best segue, but the really cool thing that I saw is that you entered and won a competition with Bang Zoom Entertainment. One, I didn't even know that existed, and two, congratulations. I know it was years ago, so it's not like as exciting as it was then, but that's awesome. What made you put your feet first into something like that? Because competitions are scary in the easiest sense.
Yes. So this was, you said like my resume extends to about 7 years, which is like about when I moved back to the States. Because of this contest. So I moved back to the States. I was at home in Massachusetts for a bit, and I immediately started looking at opportunities online for voiceover, because I had no idea where to start.
Oh, sure.
And so I was like looking for anyone I could talk to, any opportunities online, any information, like books I was reading, like textbooks or, voiceover books that I was able to find, and just any information. And so I found this contest, and it was, I think I found it the day before submissions were due.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, this is really cool. It was an anime voiceover contest, not necessarily anime even. It was a voiceover contest hosted by Bang Zoom and Star Child Entertainment in Japan. And it was, you had to submit 2 videos. One of them was a voiceover video, and one of them was a talent video.
Oh.
And yes. So I was like, I have to enter this contest. Like, I have to at least try, because it's like, it's an opportunity.
Yes.
And I moved here to take those, so I have to do this. So I made my video, and I ended up doing a bunch of impressions, because I wasn't sure what they were looking for in a voiceover video. And then for my talent video, I played music and I sang some songs and stuff. And then I edited them together, and I was like so embarrassed. I was so like, because I had no idea. I was like, is this trash? Is this good? I don't know. I don't want people to see this. Like, I don't want them. I was afraid of what people would think of me. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I was afraid of what other people would think of me, and I'd never put myself out there in that way. And you were supposed to submit these on YouTube, so you're really putting yourself out there.
Well, yeah.
So, don't read the comments. But my older brother said to me at the time, because I was like hemming and hawing, I was like, I don't know if I should do it, or my video's bad. And he said, just do it, who cares?
Well, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And so I posted the videos, and I ended up making it to the second round, and I moved to New York at that time, was taking voiceover classes. Made it to the third round, was still in New York, trucking away at voiceover, looking for any opportunity I could to use my skills. So I was doing this job where I was singing to babies.
Aww.
Just because I was like, this
adorable.
isn't, being a waitress, which I don't enjoy. And then I made it to the third or fourth round, which was, they flew us to LA to do like a finale. And I ended up winning the finale and dubbing Miss Monochrome, which is my first anime. And it's still surreal. The whole thing is so surreal to me. I got to meet Patrick Seitz, Keith Silverstein, and Mami Okada, who were judges in the competition.
Oh, wow.
And people who I adore. Like, they're just amazing, actors and and casting directors. And so, yeah, I got to see that there was a lot of opportunity in Los Angeles. So 6 months after I moved to New York, after moving back from Japan, I moved to LA, and I've been in LA ever since. That's the story.
I just think it's so impressive that you took that risk, because I have never done anything like that, so I can't even personally imagine, but I can assume it was frightening, terrifying, and almost probably exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah, yes. It's one of those things where it's like, you think about it and like, it's terrifying to put yourself out there in that way, to like, what are people going to think of me? Are they, am I actually terrible? I don't know. But what is more terrifying to me is not doing it. And that's how I justified doing it, because I was like, if I don't do this, the opportunity is gone. So you have to take the opportunity when it's there, and you have to go for it, because it's worse if you don't often, it's like, you'll always be thinking like, what if I did? What if I did? And I like, that to me is scary.
Oh,
That's like with the, when I started the YouTube channel, and I got some really mean comments, I'm like, okay, I'm growing because I'm getting these mean comments now. This is awesome. And we were actually at an autograph line at a convention, Anime Detour, and I'm like, this person told me blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes! And these other people online are like, why are you happy about that?
They acknowledged you, and the attention is good enough.
But do you feel like you're stronger as a person for taking that opportunity?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. Because, like, not every opportunity works out either. And I've taken a lot of opportunities that I've failed at. They don't always work out. But you know what? I'm still here, and I learned from those failures, and you just go for the next one. You just move on to the next thing. You can't dwell on the failures, but sometimes they work out, and it's great. And don't read the comments. Don't read. When I first started, I was like, I did Google myself, because I was like, are people talking about how terrible I am? And so I would Google myself, and I would like read the YouTube comments, and like some of them were just mean. And I was like thinking like, it's like poking a bruise. It's like, as long as I read it and I process it, like I'll be okay. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but don't ever read the comments.
Oh no.
It's not worth your time.
Well, for me personally though, like, for me, I feel like because they've subscribed to my channel, that I should respond to their comments. I read every single comment in every video I do, unless it's a comment that YouTube doesn't notify me of, because I want to respond in some manner. Like, if someone does post something to me, I'm like, I'll post, well, what could I do better to improve the video so that you would enjoy it more?
Yeah, and they usually don't have anything to say, right?
No, I had one person that actually post like, I actually didn't expect you to respond, so I don't really have any criticism. I was kind of just trolling.
There you are. There you have it.
And then they went and helped out, redesigned my channel logo so I could put it on T-shirts and everything.
Oh wow!
As a vector file.
Oh wow!
As like an apology for it.
That's kind of cool.
But with the fact that you do voice acting and music, has that helped like train you a little bit more in your craft? Because I know singing takes so much more effort in a way, depending on the melodies, the highs and lows, where voice acting, it takes effort. I can't say it doesn't. But it's like two different ways of presenting a topic. Does that help you become a stronger voice actor or a stronger singer because you know how both work?
I think so. So I don't do as much singing as I'd like to these days because I'm growling a lot, as it turns out, and like I need vocal recovery, and so like I'm often like trying to rest my voice in between voiceover sessions, and voiceover is like my primary, this is number one, music is number two. So, but definitely like things like breath support that come from, playing the flute and singing my whole life, they help with voiceover. Vocal control, your voice is an instrument, literally, and there are muscles there that you can strengthen and develop, and so singing has helped me with technique. Some voiceover sessions are extremely strenuous, and it's hard to not when you're screaming, it's hard to do that correctly. And there's not really a correct way to do it, but there are ways to do it that you are hurting your voice less. And so those kind of technical things I learned from music. And also I think that through acting, it's helped my singing a little bit in that I feel more like I'm telling a story when I'm singing and not just singing a song. Like it's more, I think about, the emotion behind it more than I would have if I were never to study theater. Because I remember, like, when I was a kid, just imitating other people, and which is a good skill to have. you get jobs that way. But, like, I think acting has helped me find my own voice a little bit more when it comes to music.
Oh, that is so cool. I like that.
Do you have any social media links people can see you at?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Abby Trott, Instagram at Abby Trott. And I'm on TikTok, but I never post. I don't know, maybe someday I will. At Abby.Trott. Abby.Trott. And I think that's all of them.
It's okay, I have a Discord channel from everything, and I constantly forget it even exists. So I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't been there in like 3 months. I should go say hi.
Yeah, I'm alive.
This has been so much fun. Hopefully you had fun today.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
Well, any final words for our viewers?
Take the risks, man. That's the lesson of the day.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And until next time, bye.
Bye.